My name is Matt Clausen, Executive Director of WOLA.
I'm Jimena Sanchez, Senior Associate for the Colombia Program.
WOLA adamantly condemns the June 7th murder of AFRODES leader Bernardo Cuero Bravo and extends its most profound condolences to his family and to his colleagues at AFRODES. In 2010, WOLA awarded AFRODES, a coalition of 96 Afro-Colombian internally displaced persons organizations with over 90,000 members, because its leadership has worked to seek justice, dignity, and basic rights for the millions of IDPs in Colombia, despite the tremendous obstacles this entails. Mr. Cuero Bravo was a bastion of hope for displaced people, from the Pacific and persons displaced to the Caribbean coast. Every day he fought for IDP families, victims of the conflict who lost their lands and whose lives were destroyed by violence. He fought against prejudice and racial discrimination against these families. WOLA has stood by and supported AFRODES leaders since 2005 in their just fight, and we will continue to do so.
In 2002, Miller Angulo, an AFRODES leader in Tumaco, was killed by gunmen. Immediately following this tragedy, AFRODES and WOLA launched a national and international campaign to seek protective measures and an adequate response from the government to prevent further deaths from taking place. At the forefront of this campaign was Bernardo, who was not only fighting for the protection of others, but fighting for his own protection as security challenges for him began to increase. Bernardo was able to escape death and harm several times. However, there was no response, and in 2013, he, along with Race and Equality and AFRODES, were forced to present the security problem faced by himself and other leaders to the Inter-American Commission of Human Rights at the OAS. WOLA accompanied him in this and in his visits to U.S. policymakers who all urged Colombia to respond to this protection crisis. The Colombian government, in particular the National Protection Unit, UNP, promised that it would do a lot, yet it has not delivered. Since then, AFRODES, with WOLA and others, including congressional representatives Hank Johnson, James McGovern, and Keith Ellison, have been forced to act on numerous occasions to get Colombia to live up to its commitments to protect Afro-Colombian leaders, in particular internally displaced leaders. Much of this has fallen on deaf ears, and you have the result that you see today. To add insult to injury, the UNP issued a statement yesterday after Bernardo's death, arguing that it did not give Bernardo measures because his murder was not linked to his human rights activities. Not only does this action re-victimize all AFRODES leaders facing death threats, but it is inaccurate and allows for false notions of leaders that augment their security risks to be perpetrated. WOLA demands that the U.S. Congress urge Colombia to investigate the UNP's actions regarding AFRODES, and in particular Bernardo's measures, as well as his murder, and sanction all those who are responsible for wrongdoing.
WOLA will continue to fight for the just cause that Bernardo led while he was alive.